and then I'll add that to the workouts. So that way you'll be able to have this information and keep it, and you'll be able to access it. So that is getting set up right now, and we'll be live and going there as well, so we can have it for our documentation later. All right, let me just make sure it's up and good. Okay. Let me. I had to mute it because it was playing back in my ear at the same time. All right. All right. So here we are. Welcome to our kickoff Warrior Woman Wednesday Q&A session and talk meetup. I'm glad that you are here. What I would like to do, obviously, I'm going to open up with just a prayer, and then we'll jump right into it. So, Father, thank you for this day and your many blessings and this opportunity to be together with this tremendous sisterhood. I pray that the information shared today would be a blessing to help us all live well, to grow in strength so we can fulfill our purpose in the world. We thank you in advance for what will happen and the miracles that will happen and the health that will take place as well. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So I wanted to just take a moment to allow you to introduce yourselves to one another again, just in this live platform. Just, start building relationships, start seeing each other, start seeing, learning a little bit more about one another. So I will ask you, Michelle, to jump in, and you can go first. And you just, you can introduce yourself and then share some of your goals or what you would like to see happen in this process.
Okay, sure. So I live in Arizona. I am 61 years old, married, been married for 41 years to the same man, the first and only. So I have struggled my entire adult life, well, since the birth of my second child, with weight. And a year ago, I weighed a lot more than I do now, 240, I think. And I've been up and down between, I think like 170 and 250 over the years of my adult life. And I have been through some major health issues. I've been through stage 3 cancer. I have been through relational issues and the usual kid stuff, because I have 2 adult children. So I've been through all the cycles of parenthood, and all of those things weigh on you and wear you down and make you old. And I don't want to be old. I know that you get older. We all get older. We can't stop that, but we can slow down the aging process. And so that's what I'm working on right now. Like I said, I'm 61 years old. I feel a lot younger. I act a lot younger. I want to stay a lot younger. And so my goal right now is to get below the overweight category. I have most of my adult life been in the obese to gross obesity category, causing heart problems. I've had a stroke. Just all kinds of things have gone on in my life with health, mostly due to my weight and lifestyle. So I'm changing all of that. This year I am at my, not at my lowest, but almost at my lowest adult weight. Well, since I was 24. And my goal is to lose another 10 to 15 pounds. I say 10 to 15 because I also have a huge goal to gain strength and muscle. And so, of course, we all know, muscle weighs more than fat. So I know that there's kind of a trade-off there. So I'm not setting any actual weight goals right now. Just know that I want to lose fat and gain strength. And that's what I'm here for.
All right. Well, thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. That's fantastic. Congratulations to you on your journey and what you've been able to do. That is good stuff. So thanks for sharing that. Dawn, good to see you. Let me unmute your mic and you jump in and introduce yourself.
Oh, oh well. I was going to step outside for a second because I am in a public place. But anyway, my name is Dawn Satari, and I'm living in Houston, Texas. And I've been back in the States now for about 5 months. I was living in Dubai for about 20 years. And so I'm back over in Texas now and restarting basically my life, restarting it over again, starting from ground zero. I just brought 2 suitcases with me of clothes, and that's it. So I got rid of all the whatever you want to call it, and starting fresh. And part of that is getting my health and wellness back on track. I have my goal is about 50 pounds that I want to lose. I mean, I know it's not going to be within this 100 days, but I think I can make some headway during this 100 days to, try to get that back on track. When you're in Dubai, you eat lots of rice and lots of good food every single day, every single meal practically. And so, yeah, I've got to get my focus back on myself. And yeah, so that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, welcome home.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back stateside.
Thank you. Yeah,
great.
I'm happy to be back. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's great to have you part of the program, and look forward to accomplishing these goals together. So thank you for sharing that. All
Thanks.
right. And someone's on an iPhone. I don't know if you can hear, but I'm going to ask you to unmute. And if it doesn't work out, then it just doesn't work out. But I definitely want everyone to have a chance to introduce themselves if they desire. All right, great. So we've unmuted.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hi, Brian and lovely ladies. This is Anitria. Good afternoon.
Hey, Anitria.
Hey, I'm out and about running some errands, but I saw that this Zoom, we're holding a Zoom every Wednesday, so I know I wanted to be a part of it. I just love your programs. I love participating in them. I'm in Macon, Georgia. I'm 45. I'm divorced. No kids, no pets yet, but I'm thinking about it. And I'm just been through ups and downs, struggled with being at a healthy weight. And with getting older, it doesn't make it easier, but it's not impossible. And I just love the encouragement that I gained from your programs, your TikTok, your Facebook posts, everything. Thank you so much for your encouragement. And I'm really enjoying hearing the different backgrounds and the different challenges that these warrior women have overcome and that they're victorious over. And I'm just glad to be a part of the program. Thank you so much.
You are
and
welcome.
Everyone have a wonderful day.
You're welcome. I'm glad that you're here. Thanks for checking in, even while you're doing your activities and your work. Always great to see you and be connected with you. All right. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself as well. You've seen me in different ways, probably on social media and across the platforms. But prior to what you probably have seen on social media, I did own and operate a women's training facility for a number of years here locally. And right up until the pandemic, we were operating, and then I decided to shut our facility down with the unknowns of what was going on. So health and wellness has been an area where I've been training for just a number of years and been able to see a lot of great transformations happen. I listened to what you all have said, and I've heard quite a bit of stories that sound very familiar, with women wanting to get their life back, get back on track. And so nothing that you said is like shocking or, like puts me off thinking that you can't achieve. It just lets me know that you're very much in the right place, because these are the kind of transformations that I've seen happen. And I know that when you plug in and you're committed to yourself, you'll see the change. Part of my reason for wanting to launch the program was because what I oftentimes see commercially is that a lot of stuff will get sold to you a lot of different ways, and there can just be an endless number of, options presented to you. And so what I like to do, especially with someone that is starting out, is make things simple. When I look at a lot of workouts and things on YouTube, and even back in my time in the gym before even opening my own, I oftentimes found that trainers and people in the wellness space, they started off very much more advanced than someone that was beginning, which can be a challenge because they themselves are farther along. So their beginning mindset isn't the same as someone else that is brand new beginning. And so for me, I like to, though I might be able to do more physically myself, I want to bring it all down, simplify things so that someone can be encouraged and start moving forward. So you've seen in the program so far, I've given you a lot of the same workouts to do. And it's more about getting you to show up and be consistent initially than trying to surprise you with all kinds of crazy workouts and push you to do all kinds of crazy things. There's plenty of times for the push. There's plenty of times for the struggle and let's make it harder and complex. But it always has to be developmentally appropriate. That's my mindset. Let's find out where you are and let's move there. Because if you can have success where you are, then you're more likely going to take the next step. And so as we go along, I like to explain. I'd like to do a lot of explaining for why I think what I think and why I'm doing what I do. So that way, it's not just you're waiting for me to tell you, but after a while, you start to get it and you say, oh, here, if I do this, and you can start strategizing for yourself. And so I like to share a lot of information because I believe that that is true leadership when you can have the knowledge. And I don't want, while I love working with you, I don't want you actually to have to be dependent upon me, where it's me just needing to string you along forever. And if something happened to me, you wouldn't know what to do. Well, my approach is to equip those that I work with so that they're gaining in strength, not just physically, but developmentally as well and understanding the program. So that's my approach to things. And so that's why I like to share and like to be connected in that way. And then of course there's the community aspect. Community to me is big time because I believe that, first of all, really transforming your body takes time. Okay. So it takes time. As a trainer, I was never a trainer that, just wanted to just collect paychecks and just train people and send them on their way. I'm a person that loves transformation. I'm like, what's your goal? Let's work on a plan to get there so we can actually see real transformation. That is my motivation. And that's why I often will ask you, okay, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? Or I'll put things out there to get you thinking about something that you want to strive for, because that's where the transformation comes in. Today, I was looking at some of the comments about push-ups, which was great. I wanted that to happen. Like, okay, but can you show us how to do this push-up or show us? That's perfect. That's what I wanted. Because now it puts you in a position where if you ask for it, that's different than me telling you. And so when you say, well, how can I? That is a win that sometimes goes unseen. When someone asks a question and says, well, how can I do this? Like, how can I do a push-up? I've never done push-ups before. How can I do it? That person is thinking of a way to accomplish, which is great. So that's like a little subtle thing that I'll do sometimes just to put things out there to find out, like, do you want to go? Like, do you want to do it? And so I saw that. And so now we're going to be able to take next steps. This space and environment is very much supportive of you. And so as you have questions, that's why I was asking earlier, and I'll keep reiterating, Q&As and asking if you have questions. This space is for you to ask questions in a safe space. And there are no bad questions. I'm sure you've heard that before, but there are no bad questions. So if you want to know something like industry-wide, why people do this, or just whatever kind of questions come up, I'm not saying I have all the answers, but if we have the questions, we can at least go down the path of beginning to find answers. And so I believe that if you want to know, by all means, ask, don't feel silly. I have, again, I've worked with women for a number of years. I've chosen to work with women over athletes and, over men. And I love working with women, that especially when you want to get rid of the unwanted body fat and change your body's structure and be able to do more. I just love that. And I've had women in their 50s and 60s and 70s, be able to do quite a bit. And it's really exciting that we're on this journey together. So a part of today is the Q&A sessions. And so there were 3 questions that had come up during the week. And so I want to address those. And one of the questions was, how detrimental is stress on weight loss? And so looking at that question, what I immediately see is that here's what we know. Stress is going to have an impact on weight loss. How much? We don't really know. Okay. So none of us are really able to measure the amount of stress that we have. We know it's there, but we're not able to necessarily measure it. But what we can measure, and I think this is what's most important as it relates to stress, what we can measure is what we do in response to stress. See, it's not necessarily the stress that gets us, it's our response to stress. So when we are stressed out, what is our response? Do we overeat? Do we find comfort in certain beverages? Do we become more active? Do we become less active? Okay. So what do we do? Because here are the things that are going to impact weight loss. Weight loss is going to be directly impacted by our activity and our food choices. Like, just keeping it super simple, if we ever really want to understand weight loss, weight gain, we can always look back to, at the most basic level, what are we eating? How much are we moving? That's going to be the formula. It's just, you can get super detailed into it, but that's the formula. So my question would be, really what we look at is, what do we do when we are stressed out? And so as a part of that, just as a follow-up, here's my suggestion. I would suggest that you make a list of 20 to 25 things that help you to relax. Okay. 20 to 25 actions that can help you to relax that are not food related. Okay. Because if we default to food when stress happens, then that'll be an undisciplined act, because stress can happen at any time. And so if we default to an undisciplined act, then we're going to pay the price for that. So 20 to 25 activities that can help you stay relaxed, help you relax, help you to unwind, help you to be mentally clear, that do not relate to food. That's going to be a great way to managing stress. And again, having someone in your life that you can talk with and share with. We've seen it in the group where, someone will vent. That's great. Like, I need to get it out. I was getting ready to make some decisions or some choices. I just needed to talk about it. I need to get it out. That's okay. Go live in the group and let it be your lifeline. Even if nobody's watching it at that particular moment, if you know that you're about to have a moment, save yourself. Go live in the group and say, hey, I'm just going live in the group right now, because if I don't, I'm going to go into this corner of my house or to this restaurant, and I'm going to go buy some food that I don't really need, but I'm going to do it as a comfort. So, like, go and save yourself, do that. So that's how we would address stress. And as we look into it more in depth, if it arises that we're really having issues with stress, we can really talk about what are some practical stress relief things to do. I have a background in massage therapy, and so I'm a person that likes relaxation. I like to encourage relaxation, and there are different techniques that we can talk about for relaxation, and really have sometimes maybe going through that, we can create perhaps create some relaxation sessions similar to the workout sessions that you can do as well. And so with that, there's a great transition into a question that came up from Dina. which was stretching. Dina said, all things stretching. I just need to know all things stretching. So I'll let you know, I will create a stretching routine. Okay. And what I like to think about when I say stretching, I actually don't call it stretching. I say relaxing the muscles. Okay. Because again, mentality, stretching makes you think about doing, like, oh, I need to stretch, I'm going to be working. No, what we really want, we want the muscles to relax. And so we think about relaxing the muscles. It's less about what you're able to do, but it's more about encouraging your body to get into this state of relaxation, lengthening, and it's a process that takes time. It's a process that you don't want to force, because when you force stretching, that's where you can end up like tearing muscles and creating little micro injuries and that type of thing. So what we're going to learn how to do, and we'll start this week, is learning how to lengthen our muscles, which is going to require you being patient. It's going to require you being a little bit more still, not being as go. And that will help you to actually just start relaxing your body. And all of our bodies are different. So we may face different challenges in regards to relaxing our muscles, and that's going to be okay. Everything that we're doing, I believe we'll try to really work so that it's adaptable to everyone. You can find your own space. Okay. Well, a lot of times when I hear the word modifications in training, modifications are used because there's one particular way people think about doing things, and then it's modified for everyone else. Well, again, let's flip that. What you're able to do is not a modification. It's what you're able to do. And so you celebrate that. I'm not modifying. I'm not saying my way of working out that's best for me is best for you, so let me modify it for you. No, let's go with what's best for you, and let's find that out. So the same thing happens with relaxing our muscles and understanding, someone might have had an injury, someone maybe their body proportions are different. All of this really matters. And oftentimes, again, when addressing and working with women, what I found is that women's bodies are shaped differently oftentimes than men's bodies are. No surprise. Okay. And so there are things that women need differently than perhaps men might need. And there are different concerns or different topics or just all kinds of different things that happen with the change. And so we want to consider that. We want to consider where our body is, how our body is shaped, what our body has been doing, what is it capable of doing, and figure out what's the sweet spot. And we can move from there. And then Michelle asked about fighting the empty carb feelings. All right, Michelle, I'm gonna give you the mic since you're here. Let's talk about those empty carb feelings. You want to share anything about that?
I think that a lot of us, maybe all of us, struggle with the temptations of an easy fix when the stomach's growling. For me, the biggest thing is when I'm out working my business, meeting with clients and what have you, and I'm on the run, and maybe I didn't plan very well for the day, didn't think I was going to be out that late. Well, there's a QT, I don't know, you have QTs out there, Quick Stop. It's like Speedway, convenient gas station, convenience store. There's a QT on every corner, it seems like. And it's so easy to just pull in and run in and grab something. And everything in there pretty much is full of carbs and calories and very, very little nutrition. And so, but it's so tempting. And you're at the grocery store, you have a list of what you're buying, but then you pass the bakery, you smell the bakery, and those things just can be overwhelming. And so if maybe we can all share tips on how we overcome the temptation, or how we if we can, ways that we can plan ahead to be able to resolve the issue of needing to or wanting to stop for a quick fix.
Okay. That's a great way of pointing it out. And there's something that you said a couple of times, a word that you said, planning. That planning is such a big part of this. And again, I've shared with you that in my process, like I don't jump in initially with the food part because food we have an emotional connection to. Okay. And so I believe, and what I've seen in the past is that it is overwhelming for people to start exercising and then want to change their food all at the same time. In science, we have what are called constants and variables. Okay. And so constants are things that are held constant. Variables are things that change. And so constants and variables produce an outcome. Well, in science, what happens is, and in this process of health and wellness is very much a scientific process. Okay. You are going through the science of learning yourself. All right. And so when we can hold as much as we can constant and then change one variable, we then see how that change in the variable impacts the outcome. Okay. So let's just say your whole life stays the same. You introduce the Warrior 100, the workouts. That's a variable. That's something that's changed. And then over the last 2 weeks, you can see how has this impacted my life? Being in the Facebook group, doing the exercises, how's it impacted my life? Okay. And so now we're like, okay, that was a variable, but it's been a constant now for 2 weeks. And if we can make this a constant, let's just say 2 more weeks, now we have a month of this being a constant. It is now in the constants category. Now let's talk about changing another variable. And so we change food. Let's start looking at food. And then we start changing the way we do food and see what kind of impact that has on the outcome. So this is the equation. Constants plus variables equal the outcome. And so this is the strategy. So now that we're into this second week, what I'm going to start doing now is introducing conversation about food. Okay. So I'm going to introduce conversation, but then like in 2 weeks, then we're going to introduce action. And so what happens is I'm helping your system to get ready for the change that's coming, as opposed to just saying like, hey, we're going to change everything right now. Doesn't work because again, there's an emotional connection. It's like, I need to mentally prepare for making changes. So if we start planning now, and that's why it's great that you said that, Michelle, if we start planning now, then 2 weeks from now, we can ease into it as opposed to, okay, here comes something very sudden, right? So planning is going to be a big part of this. As we look at planning for 2 weeks from now, we can put in some quick fixes and some quick solutions now. And so there are things that you can keep handy, right? As long as they work with your diet, things like all carbs are not bad. Okay. Let's just get that out of the way. Carbs are not a negative. We do need them. Okay. They're a healthy part of our diet. There's something we can add in, but certain carbs are going to have a different kind of impact. And so when we look at carbs such as like an apple, blueberries, strawberries, frozen strawberries, grapefruit, cantaloupes, carrots, I have a list of things. And I'll be able to share them with you. A list of these foods that are sometimes easily accessible that you can just go to, right? You can just say, all right, I have this with me. I can eat this. It takes a little bit longer to digest. And so that way it's in your body a little bit longer. It's a little thicker. It's takes a little bit more to process. And so then your body isn't necessarily as, like drawn to the quick fix, right? There is an element of discipline that's needed to just say, oh, I'm just going to drive past the QT or the 7-Eleven or the Wawa. Like there is that. And listen, I'm going to be honest. I know if I walk into my local grocery store, if I walk down that very first aisle, at the back of it are donuts and muffins. I know where they're at. And it's a shame because they're right on the other side. They're right there with the vegetables, fruits and vegetables. So like, I know it. I know where they are. I can see them in my mind. And so it's a matter of discipline. And I'm like, I know that I'm going to turn that corner and I'm going to stay close to the aisle, because if I go too close to those donuts, and especially if they have rainbow jimmies sprinkled on top, I'm going to buy them because I like that. So like I have to stay away from them. Like, no, not going to buy it. Another good thing is when you do go grocery shopping, eat before you go. Like, try to go grocery shopping on a full tank, right? Have your meal. Like if you eat right before you go to the grocery store, you're less likely just to be drawn to stuff, because it'll just feel gross in your mind to be like, oh, if I eat something else, I won't even feel good. So that'll help you as well. This is just a little hack. You say, okay, I'm going to eat before I go grocery shopping, so that way I'm content and everything doesn't just look as good. So those are some things, but what we'll end up doing is we'll end up planning and strategizing how we go about eating. And I'll tell you, I'm going to encourage you to become very much mechanical about this. Okay. I'm going to encourage you to remove the emotion out of eating and actually set times for yourself to eat, like set meal times. My approach to training is I want to train you like an athlete. Okay. Whether or not you've ever been an athlete your whole entire life, you are now an athlete. Okay. I consider you an athlete. We're going to train as athletes. And so as training, I played collegiate, I played sports my whole life, all the way up through college. I played Division I baseball. And so part of being an athlete is that we had practice times, we had class times, we had meal times. And so we had our times. And so we knew when we were going to eat. And so with that, it helps, right? Because we're fueling our bodies for performance. And so I'm going to talk to you and share with you as an athlete to fuel your body for performance, which again goes back to, what do you want to accomplish? Like when you know that you want to do something, it gives you purpose for exercising, right? Like it's great to lose weight, right? It's great to look great, but there's something on the inside of us that wants to do something. And so whether it's starting your business, running around with kids in your family, 5K, a marathon, ride your bike somewhere, ride a bike for the first time, whatever it is, that thing that you have not done or that you've wanted to do or that you've been afraid of doing, that's the thing. I would encourage you to be bold enough to say, I want to do that thing. I want to go surfing or jump out of a plane or whatever it is. I want to go clothes shopping without any thought of how much I weigh, like whatever. So I wanted to just encourage you to have a thing that you want to do, because now as an athlete, you're training for that. I trained to play baseball, right? I trained as an athlete for that. So same thing, we're going to train for a reason. And with that, we'll start setting times like, okay, here are my meal times. And we'll set a format, right? Nothing to be afraid of here. We're going to set a format for our meal times, just like we know our workout times. And then what'll happen is we'll start to be able to make adjustments as we start to learn our body's needs. We might need to add a meal time at a different time and make some adjustments. It just becomes a formula. This whole entire process, and I want to say this to you so you understand this. This is why the process takes long. Okay. And when I say long, it's not as quick as sometimes as people sell it. When you want to be able to do something and maintain it for a long time, like for life, it becomes a matter of strategy. And what I'm sharing with you, you're going to be able to take it at 35, 45, 55, 105. You'll be able to take the format and say, here's what I need. Here's how I can put this in my life. Things might change in terms of your activity levels, what you're physically able to do, but you'll have a format and a formula that is sustainable. And so that's what it's about, creating a sustainable lifetime decisions. And that takes a while, because you're going to do something and then you're going to get feedback from yourself. And very much like science, you're going to take notes like, oh, when I did this, this is what happened. I just wanted to note that. And then we keep on living. And then we find out, oh, I did this. And oh, okay, great. So this is where all that awareness comes in. And so you'll just it's all a relationship that just keeps on circling and cycling around, and you're learning yourself. This is the science of learning and loving you. And it's a good thing. So those are going to be some of the next steps. Right now, like I said, fighting those feelings, those empty carb feelings, is that, hey, have some of these other foods that I'll share with you, have them available, quick, easy, pre-bag them, like have stuff already in a bag, or have an apple ready to go, have your little, like in case of emergency bag, little lunch bag, if you need to go into it, grab something to munch on. Hey, great. It's there. You know, you answered that desire to eat with something that didn't harm you and set you back. And that's one of the things that we want, because once you go into the store, you're going to find the thing that's in a plastic bag that's been sitting there for a while, and it's going to taste so sweet, right? It's going to be so good, and it's going to be just so empty. So we want to strategize that so that way we're making choices. Like we're ahead of it, and that's what you want to do. You want to be proactive as opposed to being reactive. And again, this is one of those things where you start to say, I know that I get the munchies around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Oh, but I have my little munchies bag, right? I can munch on it and I'm good. One thing, your body does not want food. Your body wants nutrition. There's a major difference. We can put a lot of food and non-food in our bodies, okay? And what'll happen is our body will get it. And then after a while, our body will start ringing the alarm that says, I need something else because what you gave me actually didn't nourish me. You put something in, like, Brian, thanks for the Twizzlers, but they don't really help. Okay, I'm not nourished by that. I still need nourishment. So here's what happens. If we figure out how to nourish our bodies, then what happens is that alarm goes off, because our body is like, oh, let me just go ahead and process all this nutrition. It's so nourishing. Let me get it to the hair and to the skin and to your organs. Let me just distribute this where it needs to go. And then our bodies are happy. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We're looking to give our body what it actually wants and needs, so that it can put it where it needs to go and help us operate best. Okay, so that's what we had in terms of like questions and just getting connected today. Don't want to hold you much longer, but this is kind of the format. This is what we'll be able to do. And as you have questions, I'll be able to put things into the comments and create posts to share. Like I'll create a post today and I'll share that list of foods that you can access, and you can say, oh, okay, here are some things that I can actually see that I can put into my, in case of emergency bag, and I can get to it and get my hands on it. And then we'll approach these next couple of weeks in preparation for food change, right? Transitioning for food strategies. We'll be preparing for that for the next couple of weeks. I'll have a new video coming up with push-ups and how to address those. Okay, how we can address push-ups. So that way we're going to start again seeing how it can be done. That's the aim. That's the goal here. How can it get done? So that's what I have, unless someone else has anything that they want, a question they might have that has come up, or anything like that, we can shut it down for the day. I appreciate you being here. Let me look into the chat. Thank you all. All right. So if there's nothing else, I appreciate you all being here. Go have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll be sending you out an email today with a couple little housekeeping things. So you just look for that in your email later on today. Thanks for being here. I love you much. Have a fantastic day, Warrior Women. See ya.